Yo, what is goody, y'all? It's your boy Ty back here with another video. So, kind of a brief summary of the last week. So, today's Sunday. Last Monday, about 12 o'clock, we had a derecho go through Iowa, which is basically an inland hurricane. And, you know, Alliant Energy, the people who I can get my power through, said that this is the craziest thing that they've seen since Hurricane Katrina. With as much as they have been working, still, I mean, half of Iowa still, I wouldn't say half, most of Iowa does have power yet. My house, which is a little bit for my parents, does not have power yet. So I'm currently at my parents' house. They got power 2 days ago. They got internet this morning. So this is gonna be my first actual video in which I have internet to record. You know, I guess I did a couple at my girl's house, but still, it was just different. This is the first, you know, video which I'm actually comfortable recording. Now the face cam, I didn't bring my nice face cam because if you guys saw my setup, you guys would be like, what are you doing? Because my setup here is absolutely disgusting. Anyways, besides that, guys, I just want to thank you guys for the 30K subs. Powering through me through this whole derecho last week. I'm very, very excited for 2K21, but we still got a couple weeks of content left in 2K20, starting with today, the NBA 2K20 Awards. So guys, without further ado, drop a like on the video, subscribe if you are new, and as always, man, let's hop right into the video. Starting the award ceremony off with the cheesiest card in the game. And I really do firmly believe that this is a 3-horse race between Pink Diamond Dwayne Wade. And the reason for Pink Diamond Dwayne Wade is a lot of the Pro-Am guys, like a Splash Edition, Definitive. If you guys know those names, if you don't know those names, you guys will know them because they are super, super good at the game, super cheesy at using these types of cards. You started with Dwayne Wade. If I was on a 12-0 run and I ran up against Dwayne Wade with a guy who knew how to use him, I was nervous. He probably made me the most nervous. Second card up for nomination is Sapphire George Mirasan, who with 25 speed was the fastest card in the game at 7'6". I mean, I don't even know what else I can say. Day one Mirasan, guys, was just absolutely different. Last being Yao, guys. We all know what Yao can do. 7'6", all 99 GOAT card. Any of these guys could have won the award, but ultimately, I decided to go with Sapphire George Mirasan as the winner of the most cheesiest card in the game. If you're 7'6", are the fastest card in the game, and can shoot post hooks over everybody, which he could do in the first, month of the game, he was by far the cheesiest player for his time and era in NBA 2K20. So, hopping into the next award is the Longevity Award. This is the player. I didn't want to do a lot of Evos with this because, a David Robinson, for example, obviously with his Evo could still play now, but this is without an Evo. So you got, the Pink Diamond Moments Kawhi, which came out on February 16th over the All-Star break. Giannis, who was kind of that first type of player that really changed the game, that dropped not too long after Kawhi Leonard, I don't believe. And then we got the Pink Diamond Dwayne Wade once again, who I wouldn't say Dwayne Wade can still be used now, but he was still a card that could have been used for a very long time. So, in my opinion, this was more of a two-head race in Kawhi and Giannis, and I ultimately decided to go with Pink Diamond Kawhi because on my tournament team, I guess I don't run him anymore because I run OPAL Kawhi, but this card still can be ran in comp type settings, can do it all on both ends of the court, and honestly, for his era, was one of the best cards. The next award here is an interesting one because if we're talking for the time that they got released, we got 3. That is Galaxy Opal GOAT Wilt. I mean, guys, can we really have a defensive player of the year without Wilt Chamberlain, guys? 8-foot wingspan, 7'1", can run. Now, I will say this. He's not as good as he was last year, but this Galaxy Opal Wilt is definitely overlooked for what he can give you on the defensive end. Second guy is Diamond Robert Covington. You guys got to remember, for the time Diamond Robert Covington came out, he was elite, man. 6'9", incredible wingspan. Decent enough steal tendency, and just his player model made him get way more bumpy than 2K ever should allow him. I ran with this Diamond Robert Covington for a very long time and was one of my favorite players in the game. And then we got Pink Diamond Kawhi Leonard once again, released on February 16th, way ahead of his time with those 34 Hall of Fame badges. Basically, every Hall of Fame badge in the game was just absolutely incredible, guys. But I couldn't go anywhere else but Diamond Robert Covington. Honestly, he was my favorite card in the game for a good stretch, and for a free card, was the best defensive player in the game at the time he came out. Hopping into the next award here, we do got the best pre-250K card, and this could have went a lot of different ways, because you guys also got to remember we did have like the Galaxy Opal Brandon Roy, who a lot of people liked. We did have a card like even a pink diamond Bill Russell with, well, he wasn't D-Rob's level, but he was pretty good. Diamond Lamar Odom was another card that I'm very, very high on. But if we're talking about the best pre-250k card, it's between 3 guys: Pink Diamond Giannis, Pink Diamond T-Mac, and Galaxy Opal D-Rob. Now, I will say, before the behind the back was patched, it was a one-horse race. It was definitely T-Mac. But once it got patched, D-Rob and Giannis' value went up a little bit because they couldn't even do the behind the back to start with. But at the end of the day, if you ask most people who their favorite card was, it was still T-Mac going into that tournament. And by far, for the time T-Mac was released, he changed the game forever, man. We went from just decent cards to T-Mac, who is honestly, you could still use T-Mac today. Is he that good? Not really anymore, but he did have the Hall of Fame Clans Hall of Fame range, and he was absolutely elite. Pink Diamond T-Mac is the best pre-250k card. Hopping into the next award here, we do have the most overrated cards in the game for the time that they came out. Now, Glenn Rice, I will say this: when Glenn Rice came out at the start of, what was it, start of April, I do believe, I was high on the card. I liked the card, but it's like the more you use Glenn Rice, the more you don't like the card, I feel like. And a lot of people were like, oh my gosh, Glenn Rice is gonna be the best card in the game, and he really was never that for me. I was more nervous when I ran up against Pink Diamond Dwayne Wade than Glenn Rice at the end of the day. And so in that aspect, for me, I think he is overrated. The next card we do have is Glitched Shaq. For when he came out, he was supposed to be by far the best center in the game. If you ask any of the comp guys whether they preferred the old Kareem or Shaq, most of them will say Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And that's bad, because Kareem only had, you know, he didn't have range extender. He didn't have a 90+ 3-ball, but Kareem just felt better on the court than this Shaq. Shaq was supposed to be a lot better than he was, but he just, I don't know. For me, he never really helped my squad just because he had such a broken release. Next card here is the most hyped up card maybe in 2K history. That is Galaxy Opal GOAT Kobe Bryant. Now, if you ask anybody in the community which card they were most excited about, it's probably this Kobe Bryant card. He had all 99 everything for the time he came out, and he was supposed to be absolutely elite. Now, we did have, you know, the Opal T-Mac. The first T-Mac still out, and ask anybody, T-Mac was better than Kobe Bryant, is better than Kobe Bryant still to this day. It's not close, but people spent so much time grinding for Kobe Bryant, and he was just such a huge letdown. And guys, that is why Kobe Bryant is the winner of the most overrated card in NBA 2K20 MyTEAM. The next card we're going to have is the most underrated card in NBA 2K20 MyTEAM. Now, this was a tough one because there's a lot of underrated cards, but if we get down to it, who is the most underrated card? Who out of these cards do I like the most compared to the rest of the 2K community? Robert Covington, I'll say this. When I started really using Robert Covington, a lot of the community started noticing how good Rocco really was and started using him as well. Diamond Lamar pre-250 was an absolute dog. So many people overlooked this card. He only had 7 Hall of Famers, but he had 40 gold badges, and people just didn't seem to realize that. And for the time that he was in, it's no question. I think Lamar Odom was the most underrated card for that era particularly. And Diamond Cam Reddish, a card still to this day that I could go out in a comp game and feel comfortable using. Now, I know that might be a little bit of a stretch, but he has all the defensive, stats and badges you need. Has that Hall of Fame range, and Paul George release on gold quick draws, absolutely cash as well. So guys, when it came down to it, I think Cam Reddish is the most underrated card in NBA 2K20 MyTEAM. Hopping into the next award here, we do have the best 12 and over reward in NBA 2K20 MyTEAM. Now, I would say this is more of a 2-headed race than a 3-headed race, although Amari Stoudemire still wasn't bad. You know, Amari wasn't bad for the time that he was in. But really, between Glenn Rice and Baron Davis, it's tough because I thought Glenn Rice, at least for probably half the community, was the best shooting guard for when he came out. I would still prefer the T-Max of the world, but hey, a lot of people love Glenn Rice, and I can see why. Baron Davis was probably the best point guard, him or John Stockton, when he came out. But looking back on it, Baron Davis was better than most people realize. He really was. Could dunk, had that range extender. He was a dog, and that is why Baron Davis is the best 12 and 0 reward in NBA 2K20 MyTEAM for his specific era. I do want to repeat that. The next award here is the best token reward, and this is just going to be the best overall token reward because it's hard to do for their specific era because it's just so different. Now, this is kind of another 2-headed race. I do like JJJ a lot, but I think Bobo is quite a bit better. And even when you compare Bobo to DeRozan, is it really that close? Now, I did love DeMar DeRozan for a very long time, but it's like, this Galaxy out Opal Bulbul, 7'2", 7'7" wingspan, absolutely. You know, he has that KP type release, Michael Beasley base. Decent enough dribble sigs. His behind the back is decent enough for 3 hunting. But you know what he's going to give you. He's going to be a great 3-and-D type player. At 7'2", he's going to be in the lanes. I absolutely love Bulbul. And guys, this was never really a question for me. Galaxy Opal Bulbul is the best token reward in NBA 2K20 MyTEAM. Next award here we do have is the Rookie of the Year. And this one was tough. This was a tough one because we're going to include the Wisemans and LaMelo Ball in the rookie conversation because, you know, what else are they? They're basically rookies in the game, you know. Never had them before, never seen them before. So it was a tough one, you know. Honestly, if you ask the typical player, I don't know who gets this award. You know, Wiseman for me, if you play him at the 4, is obviously, you know, going to be a top 4 in the game. LaMelo Ball is some people's favorite point guard still to this day, and you guys know I love Cam Reddish. Cam Reddish is absolutely incredible. Still a top 5 shooting guard probably in NBA 2K20 MyTEAM. So this is tough. You got a top 5 center power forward, a top 5 point guard, and a top 5 shooting guard. Where do you go? It's all preference, but for me, by far, James Wiseman is the Rookie of the Year for me in NBA 2K20 MyTEAM. This is going to be an award that I'm going to talk about. Most improved, okay? And here's the thing. You can look at it in a variety of ways. The way I mostly looked at it is how did they improve from 2K19 to 2K20? Or within 2K19, you know, how did they, within 2K20, how did they improve throughout the game? Like a Tim Duncan is different because the first Tim Duncan and even the other Opal Tim Duncan, you knew what it was, man. That other Opal Tim Duncan was absolutely terrible. I never thought this GOAT Tim Duncan would be anything, but this GOAT Tim Duncan is absolutely incredible. So, you know, you can look at improved in that way or Dwayne Wade. With the Dwayne Wade type card, how many people used him last year? I mean, truly, how many people used Dwayne Wade last year? I'm just asking for the community, okay? But when I'm gonna say this as well, when the Amethyst, where the Evo's up to Amethyst, Dwayne Wade came out, I knew he was gonna be incredible. His dribble sigs were great, a great rim running point guard. I knew with his behind the back that he could be great. That he would be great throughout 2K. I absolutely knew it from the Amethyst Dwayne Wade card. And DeMar DeRozan, you know, think about it. How many people thought of DeMar DeRozan last year? I mean, honestly, truly, how many people thought of DeMar DeRozan? Now, the Trey Burke release obviously helps him, but you know, even the Pink Diamond DeMar was nice, and you could kind of tell with that T-Mac release that if we got another one, he would be incredible. But to me, this award was never a question. Galaxy Opal Tim Duncan is the most improved player in NBA 2K20, just for the sole fact that nobody thought this card would be anything. You know, most surprising player, most improved player. I don't even think it's a debate. Galaxy Opal Tim Duncan GOAT is incredible in NBA 2K20 MyTEAM. Now we're going to look at another award, is the Budget MVP. So the top budget cards in the game, I think, is 3 guys for their specific eras. Marvin Bagley, who for his era was, you know, a top 10 center at a time in which you could get him for super cheap. Nicholas Batum, DBG's guys, you guys know what he can do. Absolutely incredible 3-and-D type player. I never used him to his full extent, but now that he's got glitch tendencies on his Opal, he's absolutely incredible. But even this Diamond, he has a good release, good defender, could get it done at a very high level. The last card is Diamond Dwayne Wade. Now this card went for like what, 3K MT, and was basically the Pink Diamond Dwayne Wade. Now I still think the Pink Diamond Dwayne Wade was better, but it's really not that noticeable. So you got 3 guys here who for a time, you know, maybe in March, April probably, because I don't even know when D Wade came out, but could get it done at a high level. You know, all were super budget players. But to me, Diamond Dwayne Wade was the most usable in a competitive type setting, and trust me, I versed people who know how to use him, and he could definitely get it done at a very high level. Diamond Dwayne Wade is my best budget player in NBA 2K20 MyTEAM. Hopping into the next award, we do get the best Evo boost. Now this one's a little tricky as far as like the Penny Hardaway, but when you look at when Penny first came out, like look at his first, when he first came out to where he is now, it's absolutely ridiculous. When he first came out, he had what, a 70-some lateral quickness. I mean, there were a lot of things wrong with Penny, like no clamps, like there was a lot of things wrong with Penny. But then you look at the Bill Waltons of the world, you know, went from having what, a 73 ball to a good 3 ball. You know, has that half range, I do believe. I don't know enough about Bill Walton because I didn't use him enough. But I would say this: a lot of people like Bill Walton, and if you can tolerate his tween, he's a very good player. I just personally don't like his tween that much. And the last player that can't be overlooked is this Pink Diamond Kobe Bryant, who evoed to a Galaxy Opal. Now, you guys got to realize this Pink Diamond Kobe started out terrible. Like, when he dropped, everybody was like, what is going on? But his evo isn't terrible. It's not that much worse than the one you have to grind, you know, whatever it is, 80, 160. I don't even know. I think it's 160 plus hours for. So all three of these evos are super, super good. But when it comes down to it, Kobe Bryant's evo is the best in NBA 2K20 My Team, and I don't even think it's close. This career highlights to where he started to ends is an absolutely ridiculous evo in NBA 2K20 My Team. The next award is the Mr. Inconsistent reward, and the best way I can describe this is cards, you know, that one day I'll say, you know, KD is the best shooting guard in the game. Next day I'll talk to Isaac and be like, yo, KD is awful. So these are the cards, same thing with David Robinson. One day I'll be like, yo, David Robinson like still is the best center in the game, and then the next day he can't green a shot for me. You know, and so these are like the most inconsistent cards. When it comes to KD, it comes to straight arms, man. He is the straight arm king. When I play versus KD, if I leave him open, I think there's a decent amount of chance, even if they, you know, time the release, that he's going to shoot a straight arm every single time. And he doesn't have steady shooter. With David Robinson, it's the steady shooter, man. Sometimes he'll he'll hit a heavy, and I'll take heavies with him because that's what he's there for. He got Hall of Fame steady shooter. But other times he's gonna miss, you know, 3-4 wide opens all in the same game, and it's just so frustrating. But other times he'll be straight greens. You won't even notice a difference on that steady shooter badge. Last player here is Bulbul. Now, more than anything, it was the other Opal Bulbul that I'm kind of referring to. I mean, the Evo one that had 32 Hall of Famers, I think he some days would be so good for me. I'd feel like he's the best power forward in the game, and then other games I just couldn't agree with him. So inconsistent. It was just all three of these players are so inconsistent for me. Kevin Durant, you know, obviously with the straight arms. David Robinson with his, you know, steady shooter badge. And then you got Bulbul, who is just Bulbul, man. Bulbul is going to be inconsistent all the time. But when it comes down to it, Kevin Durant's straight arms, for me, makes him the most inconsistent player. Mr. Inconsistent award goes to Kevin Durant. The next award here is the most slept on award. And what I mean by slept on is players that I didn't even use, really. Like, I saw them come out of the, you know, I played with them once, yeah, they're okay. But then when it comes down to it, I play with them 2 or 3 times. I'm like, okay, what was I missing about you? Like, obviously, Pink Diamond Kawhi could have been in this. But when we're getting down to where we're at now, these 3 guys are the epitome of the most slept on. You got Jonathan Isaac. Don't get me started about how good Jonathan Isaac is. I think he got the Pro 5 behind the back. Can absolutely incredible release. He can do it all. Kevin Garnett, 6'11", for his time was probably the best defender in the game and is still a top power forward defensive player in the game. A decent enough release, kind of slow, but still absolutely incredible. Karl Malone, 6'9", got the best dribble 6 in the game, and I get he's an expensive reward, but people sleep on how good Karl Malone still is to this day. So these 3 players are all very slept on. When it comes to the most slept on, I think it is Galaxy Opal Kevin Garnett. You know, 44 Hall of Famers, 22 gold badges for the time he came out, and people regretted locking him in. But guys, Kevin Garnett's absolutely incredible in this game. He truly is still to this day. For the time he came out in, he might have been the best lock-in for the time he came out in. Hopping into the MVP of NBA 2K20 My Team. Now, this is just the overall best player, not the best player for the time that they came out in. And here's what I'm going to say. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, when he came out, I think it was what, May maybe? I don't know when exactly Kareem came out. It was too early. That's what I'm going to say. I never thought we'd see anything like it. Giannis behind the back, incredible release for a center, 7'2", incredible defender. He was absolutely incredible. But then we got, you know, let's talk about LeBron. The point guard LeBron, who had 45 Hall of Fame badges at 6'8" with a bad layup package, was my favorite point guard in the game. Now we get a point guard LeBron, 6'9", long athlete layup package, 67 maybe Hall of Fame badges, all 99, everything. Like, guys, come on. We went from the point guard LeBron, who I thought was going to be probably the best point guard forever, to now we got the GOAT Bron. Another just huge upgrade. But then we get a 7'6", all 97 or above Yao Ming card. 7'6". And everybody's like, oh, his dribble 6 are terrible. He's not going to be good. Yeah, his dribble 6 are terrible, but his Curry escape, man, isn't terrible. So as long as you got the Curry escape on this Yao Ming, he's got a decent enough release. Guys, I don't really think this is a question. Galaxy Opal GOAT Yao Ming is by far my MVP of NBA 2K20 My Team. Next, we're going to hop into each team at their specific level. So the first team here is the All Ruby team. Who makes up the All Ruby team is the best Ruby players that I could think of. That kind of will give you a little bit of a flashback. So Dante DiVincenzo came out with like the Magic Johnson type set. Same thing with JC. But Dante DiVincenzo, when you're thinking about a Ruby to use, he's probably the best Ruby in the game. He probably is. Dion Waiters was on TTO boards. Pre-250 actually in Evo'd up, but that Dion Waiters, even the Ruby one, was super good. Now, that Jared Culver, if he had range extender, would have been super good. The no range extender did hurt JC quite a bit, but was still incredible. And Jeff Green, he doesn't compare to the Pink Diamond, but still has that same type of release and is very good. Thon Maker, if you could play any sort of defense, would be a lot higher. Thon Maker still does make the All Ruby team. Next, we got the All AMI team, and this is made up of guys that are still pretty good to this day. Let's start off with Isak Faranga. He got Pro 8. That's all you need to say about him. He's got Pro 8. Not a very good release, but not a terrible release. Decent enough defender at what, 6'8", maybe 6'7". I think he's 6'8" though. If his player model was a little bit wider, if he weighed a little bit more, he would have been a lot better. Next, moving on to Lance Stevenson, absolutely incredible player. I used him a lot of my budget baller series. Very good release, very good. I think he has a Pro 2 tween as well. Very good card in Lance Stevenson. Next card, the card I didn't use that much, but Amethyst Nick Young was still very good. A more updated player than a lot of these cards, just because of when he came out, was very good card. Next, we got the Twin Towers inside. Mo Bamba, Marvin Bagley, obviously were the best two Amethyst bigs in the game. You couldn't leave one of them off the list. These two, both, it's your preference which one you like better. I prefer Bagley, but a lot of people prefer Bamba. These two were absolutely incredible budget cards. Hopping into the All Diamond team, this one was a lot easier for me to come up with, I think, because you got Dwayne Wade, who was for the time the best budget player in the game. You got Cam Reddish, who is my most overlooked, one of the most overlooked cards in the game throughout, 2Ks. Throughout the whole 2K, honestly, the most long-lasting card, one of the most long-lasting cards in the game as well. Diamond Nicholas Batum, the small forward position, obviously included because he's a great 3-and-D player. Then we got Diamond Cove, Diamond Cove. We all know what he can do. And just look at this team on defense as a whole outside of Dwayne Wade. Dwayne Wade can create all the offense, and defensively, Cam Reddish, a good perimeter defender, Batum, Cove. Then inside we got Diamond Nerlens Noel, who is also a very elite defender. All around, this Diamond team is very good. And honestly, you could go out into an unlimited setting now and win with this team. Hopping in next to the All Pink Diamond team, we started off with point guard Giannis Antetokounmpo. What else can I say? What else can I say about Giannis? You guys know what he still could do this day. Now we got the new Pink Diamond Robert Covington. Still going to be 6'9", updated steal tendencies, updated Hall of Fame range, Hall of Fame quick draw. Cove is absolutely incredible. Don't get me wrong. It's just hard to use him because he is just still a little limited on offense. Next we got Pink Diamond Kawhi Leonard at the small forward position, guys. Trust me when I say this card was so slept on when he first came out. Next, we got Thaddeus Young, the base 98 type release. Probably the best release in the game goes to Thaddeus Young as well. Just an absolutely incredible player, on the offensive end, and he does have some updated tendencies as well. Center position, we're going with Pink Diamond Eddie Curry. You could put Wiseman, Dino in there as well, but I do think Eddie Curry is the best Pink Diamond center in NBA 2K20 my team. Now when we get into the All OPAL team, this is basically the best starting lineup you can run right here. And look, this is in my opinion the best starting lineup you can run. Point guard, you got GOAT LeBron. It's tough because GOAT Ben is obviously good. Shooting guard, it was a tough one too. I couldn't go against Kawhi Leonard, but if you wanted to put Kevin Durant GOAT right here, I'm not going to argue with you. I just love Kawhi Leonard so much. Next, at the small forward position, I love Bobo, but GOAT Giannis obviously gets the nod there. The power forward position, we did put in Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and I love the Kareem and Yao duo, which makes up my All OPAL team. Alright, that is gonna wrap it up for the video today, guys. Now, I know my face cam isn't the highest quality, and that's because it is my old face cam, but I do want to say this. Guys, thank you guys so much for the support recently. It truly means a lot to me. Having your guys' support, especially when the video qualities are low as they were. I was just trying my hardest to get any content out for you guys, but it was tough. Now, hopefully, at least this internet can stay good. At least I can try to work around, not the optimal setup, but that's okay. I have internet. And at the end of the day, man, I'm just glad, you know, my family, friends, everyone was safe from the derecho. Now, we did have some pretty bad damages. I helped my parents clean up their yard one day, my grandparents clean up their yard another day, and still we have lasting damages. One of the craziest things I've ever experienced. But I'm just thankful my house was okay as well. But guys, it is gonna wrap it up for the video. Thank you guys so much once again, guys. I really do appreciate you guys. Shout out for the first 30K subs. If you're new to the channel, smash that subscribe button as we're on the road to 35,000 subscribers, guys. That is gonna be it. I hope you guys did enjoy the video. Drop a like on the video, subscribe if you are new, and as always, man, I love y'all and have a blessed day.